everybody. It's been a while. I wanted to share something that dropped in sometime in the night, and it felt quite profound. And so I wanted to voice it and pass it along. So the message, very clear, was that there is no unity without sovereignty. So I want to talk to that for a little bit, and it was beautiful in the night. I was getting all sorts of flowcharts and explanations and so on. And I'm going to try and recall what I remember, because then I fell back to sleep and didn't write any of it down. But the long and short of it was that when we are in a more contrived, unified space, we can be part of what I will call the hive mind. So if we live in this mental universe, if the collective consciousness has a field that we're all tapped into, that we're all part of, that we are at risk of attuning to that hive mind consciousness. And so with that, if there is a degree of right thought, right behavior, socially appropriate paradigms or narratives, what is politically correct and so on, and whoever gets to decide that is then part of creating we're at risk of then just following, I want to say following orders, but it's being told how to think, being told how we should feel about something, and that's limited, right? It's come from a construct, a mental construct, a worldview, a way of seeing the world. And you can see probably and feel like it's here, it's isolated, it's not part of the whole, but it has a powerful influence if we're not able to think outside of the box. So, or feel or sense what holds resonance, what's our own truth. So that's kind of, being part of the hive mind, being part of the collective consciousness, of which we are, and it affects us every day. So it's not to negate that, but it's just to be aware that if we want to create true oneness, true unity, we can't allow ourselves to be divided or polarize ourselves or polarize each other. Then there's this thing called contrast, which maybe I'll speak about in a moment. But if we look at true unity, the true unified space, it's all of it. So it includes this, but it's just one worldview, and there are other worldviews. And all of a sudden, we have differences of opinion, we have differences of perspective, and it's not it's not a this way or this way. It becomes the and. So it's okay for somebody to think differently to you. It's okay for somebody to do something differently to you. It's okay for someone to live in a different way to you. And it's okay for you to choose how you want to live and be, which really drops my energy into the heart space, because that is where the sacred honoring is of what is emerging for us as a potential and a possibility within the human collective now. But we have to feed it, we have to tend to it, we have to be aware of it, we have to give ourselves permission to think differently, to be different, to act differently. So there is an allowing and an opening of the heart that enables us to connect with the authentic self, with the truth of who we are, that allows us to be sovereign in mind, be sovereign in our emotions, how we feel about something, or our sensing, our ability to feel what resonates and what doesn't resonate from the heart truth, not necessarily from the the past emotional triggers, which can just restrict us or keep us safe or protect us, can lead us into contraction. I'm talking more about an emotional sense of resonance of feeling. So when we know something is for us, we may have fear around it, but we may also be excited. We may also have an inner knowing that it's a place that I want to move to. But we have to allow ourselves to kind of honor that which is resonant within us, and what is right for you may not be right for the next person, and so on. So when we have true sovereignty in terms of knowing who we are, listening to the heart and the soul, the deeper essence of a calling, your path, your knowing of what is right or wrong for you, given what you're here to experience, then we we have the all. I listened to a talk a long time ago, and it made so much sense. You know, the aha moments that you get sometimes. And Bruce Lipton was talking about, you know, us all being different colors of the rainbow, and that if, you know, so and so doesn't be there, if they're red and they don't get to be there red, they're trying to be more blue, then we'll never achieve the white light. So it needs all of the spectrum of light, of expressions, in order to create the whole. And that's really beautiful, and it speaks to this idea of sovereignty, of knowing thyself as soul, as spirit. I could go off into the multidimensional now, but I'll keep it simple and keep it grounded. But being able to think your own thoughts, being able to know what's not your thought, know that you may be picking that up from the field. And this, we do this. There are thought forms that we pick up. There are thought forms that get projected onto us. And you may sometimes have that sense of knowing that that's not mine. I don't think like that, or I don't choose to think like that. And so, you know, in my practice, I will often use, you know, start, clear, cancel, delete. So we don't put energy into thoughts that we don't wish to prevail, because thoughts are part of the way in which we experience and create our reality. So I'm going to jump to contrast now. So when we be our full selves, say I'm yellow, for example, and I may not be, we may not all just be a color. We may be a merge, we may be a blend. We're very complex. I'm just using it as an example. But if I am yellow and I am choosing to be yellow, choosing to really go inward and feel what it is to be me, and I allow myself to find my voice that expresses as yellow, and I meet somebody that is blue, and they may well be of contrast to me. So they may not receive me or even see me as my true yellow, because they're looking through that blue lens. And I may not see them as their true blue, because I'm looking through my lens. But when we notice difference in the world, and people will always show up, the more we attune to who we are, the more we make choices about how we want to be, how we want to live, what feels right, what feels self-honoring for us, the more we are going to notice who we are not. And so we learn who we are very often through contrast. So it's not about needing to fix somebody, or needing everyone to be the same, or needing everyone to think the same, because then I feel affirmed of who I am, and I know that what I'm thinking is true or is right. that takes us back into hive mind consciousness. So if we allow the contrast and allow the contrast not to judge it, but to help us to be aware of who we are, so that I can shine in my most beautiful yellow and you can shine in your most beautiful blue, and someone can shine in their most beautiful red, and we can see that together I bring this thing and it's really exciting and really beautiful, and you bring this thing and oh my goodness, I don't do that very well, but I'm so glad that you do, and you do this thing which is so wonderful because that anchors everything, and together we can create a space of unity in appreciation of our individual differences, knowing that we are all part of the one, all having a different experience, all experiencing that through a different lens. And there's enough coherence, there's enough appreciation, there's enough high frequency that enables us to see the beauty in difference and to appreciate, what someone else might bring that's different to what you might bring, and how they may complement each other, and how they may weave together, and how we can learn from each other. And so, in celebrating each other, in bringing forward divine grace that allows us to be ourselves and allows other people to be themselves, we have the potential to experience true unity. But what was stated this morning, and that really resonated, was that we cannot achieve unity without sovereignty. And so this is my small invitation for you to connect into your heart space, the true essence of who you are, to stay there, to breathe there, to be excited by finding out what your spark is and what your gift is, and to be able to gently just let that flame burn, let the flame be seen, let it ignite it, nourish it, cherish it, tend to your flame, and know that there's a flame in everyone. And together, if we ignite and you do your bit and I do my bit, then we can appreciate the creation of the world that we want to create, rather than having it created for us and going along. So I guess sometimes it feels like we have to float upstream, but that's just to find our own lane. And then when we're in our own lane, we can flow downstream again. I hope that helps. Sending love. Just going to see if there is anything else. No, that's all for now. So go well. With love.